Welcome to the Eco Flat Box fabrication demonstration. This morning we'll be packing something using the 7236 Eco Box system, and I'm now just showing you all of the tools and accessories that are required to put this box together. From left to right across the back we have a bag of buckles made of recyclable steel. We have two types of tape, recyclable. We have a handy strap kit which you can buy in 3,000 foot lengths. This is 300-pound test and includes a hand fastener that you can see on the table, and we also have a measuring tape and a utility knife, and this rounds out all the tools that we need to do the fabrication and make up the box this morning. Today we're here to package a tabletop that, while you don't need to know the exact dimensions in order to package it, is approximately 50 inches wide by 26 inches high, and we need to know the approximate thickness of it, and so we can see that on quick measure it's about a little over 1 inch, which means we will use the 1 inch thickness option on our corners. More later. The first step in creating an Eco Flat Box is folding the corners to the thickness of the material that we're packing. And today we're packing a 1 inch tabletop. So on the right you have a non-coated corner as it would arrive from us, and on the left you have a coated corner as it would arrive from us. Each part has a embossed part number on it, and I'll give you a shot of those momentarily. So the first step in creating a Eco Flat Box is to separate the corners into the 4 pieces. So you simply take how it arrives, bend it in 2, and separate the pieces, which come apart very easily. You now have 4 corners to work with. So you can see here there's a CU in the middle of the corner that you use to identify the universal corner that we use in our system. To fold a corner for the Eco Box system box, you have to make sure that you're working with the embossing on the inside, which means we'll fold to this side, and then you have to fold to the correct folding line. Today we're going to be using the second folding line here and here, which will give us a 1 inch overall corner. How I like to fold is along the edge of the table, so I've turned it over. I first fold the innermost fold and then simply move along and fold on the second line like this. I repeat the procedure for the second fold in the corner. I'll fold along the second line, and now all I do is I fold these guys like this, fold these like this, and I have created a corner for my box. And now I'll go ahead and create the other 4 after I've taped it. So now that I have it organized the way I want it with the corner square, I simply put a piece of tape over it to secure the system. The tape I'm using is 100% recyclable. Now that I've created my corner, I'm going to check it on the material that I'm going to use, and then I'll create the rest of the corner. We now have part A with the embossed logo A7236 facing up, with the insert part B centered on part A so that it is within the innermost fold lines of part A, which is perfectly at a little over 72 by 36, allowing us to pack our tabletop. The next step will be to put the corners on the tabletop and to center it along the bottom. All of our packaging must go along the bottom so that we won't put any shear on our corners. And we'll line it up on the bottom and show you the next step. So now Dwayne is going to put the remaining two corners on the tabletop. So this will allow us to be ready to attach it to part A and part B. So all is just a nice snug fit on that corner and a nice snug fit on the second corner. And now, as you can see, we have the four corners hold it to secure our tabletop, and now we will line it approximately in the center of the insert part B and about along the bottom edge of part B, about halfway from each end. Okay, so are you good there? I got about 40. Okay. So now we're ready to secure the corners to part B. Now what we're going to do is, for security purposes, is to just attach the corner to part B, part C to part B. So all we do is we just take a piece of tape, run it along, make sure we get down the side, and then out along part B, like this. And we're going to do the same thing on all four corners. Now that we have our tabletop secured with tape from the corners to part B, the insert, we will now fold our four corner cover over using the same fold lines as we did for our corners, which means that we'll use the innermost score line, the first score line, and we'll use the 1-inch score line, which is the second score line of the ones available for the second fold. And then we'll tape together the four flaps to form the first part of the envelope. So now that you can see the box partially folded, we have folded the far end. We fold the two long edges first, and then we fold the short edge over the two long edges and tape them, and we will continue that process here in this end of the box. How you doing? Good. How are you? Good. And on the fourth corner, we're simply squaring it up so that everything fits properly. And we have a nice square package with the tabletop aligned to the bottom of the package. And now we have our first envelope on. This is the D part, the two-sided outer cover for the envelope. You can see that we have it with the embossed area facing upward. You can see the D7236 score. And we will now wrap the previous four-sided cover into the two-sided cover to complete the envelope. We're now working with our D part, which is our two-sided cover, and we'll be folding the D part on the innermost score line, which is here, and the 1-inch score line, which is here, to create the third folding part of our box system for the envelope, for the Eco Flat box. And What I've found is in assembling these boxes is that sometimes you just want to run a roller, like a screen roller or a pizza type roller, along the score that you want to make it easier to fold. With all these fold options, sometimes the fold goes a bit array, but if you pre-fold it or pre-score just a little bit, the fold is no problem whatsoever. We will now take the partially completed envelope with part A, B, and the corners, and put it facing down, face down onto part D to do the final assembly of the envelope. Let's see what we got here. We'll just turn it and roll it and drop it. Okay. That's good. Push it over. Perfect. And then just slide it down so it's even with the. There you go. That's it. There it is. Square it up a bit. There you go. You looking good there?
Yep.
Okay. And on that side. Okay. And you set it to rotate. The next step in completing an eco flat box for shipping flat items suspended is to create the end caps. In order to create a set of end caps, you need an A end cap, you need a B end cap, and you need part F, which is the block that goes at the bottom to connect the two end caps. So the first step, we will fold end cap A from the flat piece that you see in front of you to a completed piece, and I'll show you how that sequence works. In order to properly fold the end cap, you have to start with the embossed part number facing up, and then you have to start away from it over here on this end where these two holes are, and actually fold this one in the opposite direction to all the other folds. Fold this first, and then simply continue to fold the corner all the way across. So you create the end cap that you're looking for. And you can see that we folded this till we're complete. It actually goes like that. And now what we do is we pull these tabs out. Whoops, these tabs out, because you'll see how we use these to put the strapping around later on. And now we simply tape this off, making sure that the end cap is square. You also need to make sure that the tape does not cover this minimum engagement window, which shows you where the block is so that you have enough coverage of the block at the bottom of the end cap. Take this end off with 3 pieces of tape. We go to the other end and fold this over, again making sure we're square, and then putting a tape on. Since this is the top and doesn't carry as much weight, we only need the 2 pieces at the top. And here you have a completed end cap, part A, ready to assemble to make up a set of end caps. You need 1A, 1B, and the center block, which we'll do next. We now have assembled one ECA, one ECB, and we have taken out our laminated bottom block, which we call part F universal or FU. All we have to do now is to insert the F block into the opening in part A, repeat into the opening in part B, lift up, and you have an end cap set ready to use. We now have both of our end cap sets assembled and ready to be incorporated with the envelope to complete the EcoBox flat box system and be able to ship our tabletop wherever we want to ship it. We're now going to take our envelope and insert it into the two end caps and finish up the building of our box. So we're just going to walk it right around, okay? Yep, there you go. So I'm going to lift this up, let you put it in. Just like that, that's good. Do the same thing on this end. There we go. Okay, good. So you know if I had to do it again, okay, stop right here. We now have the envelope inserted into the end caps, and we will now proceed to strap up the box system, getting it ready for shipment.
Playing with that as well. You can extend it. Take on 2, 3, 4 envelopes or whatever.
We're now going to put some strapping on the end cap. Everyone has different strapping methods. We happen to use a manual method, and we'll attach a strap here, same place on the other end, and then two along the horizontal. We now have a completed EcoFlat box, fully assembled, size 72 by 36. You can see that there is some vertical strapping on two levels, and we have, you can see that there's some vertical strapping on both ends and some horizontal strapping on two levels. Please notice the carrying handles to allow the box to be carried by hand, either here or here. Please notice that the gap under here will allow a forklift to go under, and also that the box itself, the envelope portion of the shipping box, is completely suspended so that the box and the cargo never touches the ground during shipping.